let's talk a little bit about what their beliefs are. I mean, we can't speak for the elite, but after doing a number of years of research into who the major players are, and when you often follow the money, you follow it on up, you find who the key players are. You begin researching the key players. You begin looking into what they're into, what sort of things do they aspire to be, what works of literature do they study. You eventually learn that, and it's almost mind-boggling to say that a lot of these guys are into the occult.
Yeah.
I mean, these are spiritual individuals, and they obviously are aware that there's something else going on in this world, because when you're involved and deeply steeped into the occult, as these people are, clearly you believe that there is something to this. We're coming up to the break pretty soon, but I want to get into this more on the other side of the break about let's call it the spirituality of the global elite and where their thoughts are. But I'm sure in your research you've also come across this concept of the elites dabbling in the occult.
Yeah, well, I mean, the word occult simply means hidden, that which has been occulted from view. So what they're studying is occulted, hidden knowledge. And the knowledge itself, people can debate whether it's good or bad, but I really look at it as just a tool. And if that tool's in the wrong hands, and there are a mass amount of people that aren't aware of it, then that's a differential of power. And so we have to really study what they think, what they believe.
Well, when you start to look into some of these things, and you see that they go to Skull and Bones, you see that they go to Bohemian Grove, and for some of the listeners who haven't heard of these things, these are ritualistic ceremonies that the elite engage in to gain power, to gain fame, to gain wealth, to gain favorship from their overlords who are pulling the strings. We're coming on to the break. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to be right back with David Whitehead right here on the Dan Dix Show. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Dan Dix Show. I'm your host, Dan Dix, and we're here with our guest, David Whitehead. And Dave, right before the break, we were talking a little bit about the philosophies, the general thoughts and ideas of the oligarchy, of the elite. What kind of things are these guys into? Would you say that the upper echelon of the elite, could you consider them religious?
Well, yeah, they have a religious belief in very, very particular doctrines and ideologies. They clearly do that, but you can even see it by the symbolism that they wear and that they employ in all the levels of activity that they do. You can read it in their memoirs. You can hear it across the board. Even the type of ideas that they're discussing go back to ancient times. They go back to ancient Babylon, ancient Egypt, and throughout all of history, really. It's been, you look at something like Nazism and the rise of Nazism. It's a great example because they were also very steeped into the occult, and they were very interested in that because I think they saw that they needed to have a power differential against the masses of people in order to formulate this, in order to be successful with their goal. And nobody would be driven to do this for as long as they would be driven to do this, basically subjugating humanity. They wouldn't be driven to do it unless there was some kind of a religious fuel behind it. And when that kind of passion and that kind of belief that is actually something that's geared towards working against the best interests of humanity and for the best interests of them, well, that's a dangerous combination. And we keep seeing it acted out again and again. And you can even, if you understand symbolism and you've done any kind of research into the occult, you can see it littered all across the board in politics, in media. I mean, even looking at the music industry, for example, we see it expressed through there, through Hollywood. It's everywhere. And I don't believe it's all just bad or all just good. But it is there, and people are ignorant of it, and we do have to be worried about people that are talking about things like, reducing the world's population to a very specific number, regimenting the lives of everybody, controlling the lives of everybody as if they themselves are God, as if they themselves are the arbiters of truth and freedom. It's a twisted ideology in my view, and it's actually a misinterpretation of a lot of these ancient philosophical understandings. So that's kind of where I'm at with it, but I think that we'll see it played out on the global stage soon enough.